Good day, gamers. Fortain here, and welcome to episode 6 of Minecraft, the Betweenlands. Hello, everyone. I am doing well, and I hope you're doing well as well. Today, we are going to be doing some digging here in Escape the Betweenlands. We've been doing a fair amount of exploring around, getting some materials from the different pots that have dotted the landscape, gathering up some different foods, swamp reeds, plants, and stuff like that. And while there is still a lot to explore on the surface, I do really need to start digging downwards. It's going to have a better chance of getting the different ores like octine and ceramite. Potentially, although I doubt we're actually going to get towards valenite today, but valenite is mostly found underground, beyond like the tiny bit of valenite splinters we found so far. We're also going to have lots of chances to get some more sulfur for torches and cleaning all of our tools, which are very, very cruddy at the moment. We're also going to be able to find scab assist, which we'll be able to use to coat our tools to make it so they don't corrode. And there is a very important creature that I am looking to try and hunt today to get access to silk, which will be unlocking a good number of things once I actually have access to it. My armor is pretty beat up, and so is my shield, and my tools are definitely worse for wear. So I'm going to make a few things before we head out. First things first, I'm going to take some of these sludge balls that I've been getting when I've been using the using the water filter. I'm going to go ahead and cook up these sludge balls and create sludge jellies. I will then combine those with the balls of sap to make sap jello, which will do a couple things. It'll extend out the amount of balls of sap that I currently have. I can go chop down a few more sap trees, but I want to have a little bit of better tools to do such things. Plus, with the sludge jello turning into sap jello, it'll actually restore two blobs of decay instead of just one. I can eat them while I'm full, and it restores a bit of saturation. So I'll be able to save myself a little bit of inventory space, carrying 1 or 2 less foods. I'll have some inventory slots to do a few other things. Yeah, so we're going to be making that. Since we are going to be digging underground for a bit, I do want to make some torches to bring along. I don't plan on torching up the whole place, but I do want to... it suddenly became daytime. It's also very foggy out at the moment. I'm not going to be torching up the whole place, but I do want to have, some torches that I can place so I can see as I go. Yes, we take these sludge jellos, combine them with the balls of sap to make sap jellos. So like I said, this heals decay. It also is part of the food sickness system, so I do have to be careful about how often I eat them. But for the moment, this will work pretty okay. And I can just swap them out with the frog's legs, the snail flesh, and then I have the crab sticks for kind of emergency use. But like I said, my tools are pretty cruddy and my armor is getting beat up. Now, thankfully enough, when I have been fighting, or when I've been doing some off-camera, just like chopping down trees and stuff, going out and getting the swamp reeds, I have been fighting a fair amount of the swamp hags, and they are pretty much a guaranteed drop for these slimy bones. So I haven't gone anywhere or hit up a spawner or anything. I've just been fighting the hags that come around. But, like I said, it does get me enough of these to go ahead and make a full suit of slimy bone armor. Now, as much as I enjoy the lurker skin stuff because of how much faster it makes me in the water, as you can tell, this is going to give me a fair amount more protection. The full lurker skin gets me 3.5 shirts of armor down here, whereas the bone armor gets me 5.5 shirts. It's not a ton. It's definitely not enough to say that I'm invincible by any stretch of the imagination. But it is going to be a lot more protection, and here on hardcore mode, every half heart counts. I do have enough slimy bone to go ahead and make some tools, and hopefully when I'm down digging, I'll be able to get some more slimy bone. The slimy bone is effectively the equivalent to stone tools in standard Minecraft. So we're going to be switching out our weedwood pickaxes for bone pickaxes. Same thing with the weedwood shovels. We're going to swap out for a bone shovel. Let's see, go ahead and put this stuff away for the moment. I will clean these off later and use them up. I'm not like throwing them away. So we've got new pickaxes, new shovels. I'm probably not going to need to chop any wood when I'm down just doing some mining. I will go ahead and make one slimy bone axe just to have it in case. I don't think I'm going to need it for right now. The main thing I'll need the bone axe for later on is when I get access to the cutting table to cut the fish up once I use the fishing pole. But I need a fishing pole first, and to get the fishing pole, I need access to silk, which is again the main reason I'm going to go mining for a while. So we'll put away the rest of the slimy bone for the moment. I do want to go ahead and clean off. I'm going to clean off my slingshots and the bow here, just to make sure that it is doing as much damage as I can while I'm down there. Speaking of doing as much damage as I can, I am actually going to go ahead and spend some of the octane that I have to make a couple octane swords. Now, this is going to be the equivalent of damage and durability as iron swords. It also has a chance to light the enemies on fire, which will be pretty nice. If the enemies are around a bunch of water, or if it's raining here like it is currently on the surface, it won't make as much of a difference. If they're on fire, they'll just get put out immediately. But I figure, if nothing else, the extra damage that they do compared to my wooden swords, or spending the small amount of bone I have left on bone swords, it's best to just go ahead and go with the octane and be done with it. All right, that slingshot is clean. I know. You know what? I'm not going to worry about cleaning that one off, because as soon as this gets low enough in durability to combine, it's going to clean it off. So that is good. I do want to make some more ladders. I would normally build a standard ladder well with a central core of some type of block. At the moment, I'm just going to be putting the ladders on the side of the hole that I'm digging. And as I start digging up more trees, or start chopping down more trees, I think I'm going to go with a center-based design roughly similar to the one that I made way back when with playing Sevtech, which was effectively just a giant weedwood tree stump. And for a large portion of that, I ended up using a lot of this kind of central core weedwood for it. I don't have a lot of it at the moment. I have a little bit, but I don't want to waste a bunch of it on just making the kind of central pillar of the ladder well. So for right now, I'm just going to put the ladders on the side of the wall as I'm digging downwards. And then when it comes time to actually like create the center base above this ladder well, I'll then decorate it correctly. But for now, it's just going to be some ladders along the wall. I think will make much more sense compared to like actually going through and spending the time to spend those resources doing that. Let's see. What else do I need? My food is good. I do want to go ahead, since I've been able to make get some more angler's teeth from using the water filter. I do want to go ahead and make some more arrows before I go. I just finished cleaning off my bow. So yeah, we'll go ahead and make that many arrows. I'm gonna keep the slings with me just as a backup weapon in case, but I'm gonna be mostly using the bow. Is there anything else I need? I've got full suit of bone armor. I've got my ranged weapons. I've got my melee weapons. I've got my tools. Plenty of food that I can swap between. I think I am good. Let me grab just a little bit of blocks to have with me. We are going to be heading in this direction because, as we can see from the map here, starter base is right here at X79, Y130, but I'm actually going to be creating center base over in, as I usually do, 0, 0. So let's go ahead and make a new marker here in Journey Maps. Call it center base, Betweenlands. And we're going to go ahead and put in the coordinates. X0, Z0, Y is going to be 128. And we've got our most easily seen color of just straight white. So there we go, center base in the Betweenlands. And if we take a look, it is 92 meters that way. So right there is Y128. Currently floating in the air, that's all right. Just makes it easier to see where it is. A little hydration, but we're gonna basically get to that point and then start digging down just a small, small mining tunnel to get to, honestly, whatever we find is going to be useful. Any sort of cave is going to be good. Any sort of, branching tunnel is going to be fine. I am actually going to real quick make a quick double save because there can be some rather strong enemies to fight when you get underground. And so I'm going to make a rare double save before I actually go mining, just in case something untoward happens. So I shall be right back. And we're back. All right, so my tools are already starting to corrode a little bit. We'll want to get out there quickly before they start decaying too much. No enemies in sight. Off we go. So I do want to give a little bit of a heads up, a warning, whatever you would like to call it, before I start. Sorry, grab something real quick. Just thought of that as I was heading out. I do want to give a small warning for while I'm about to head out and start digging. The main creature that I'm looking to fight while I am going into the caves, or just digging downward in general, is called an infestation. I know, singular creature called an infestation. It is quite literally a group of crawly bugs that crawls around. It can poison you if it hits you. It does a fair amount of damage, but it's a group of bugs. 100%, it's like a big group of beetles. In addition to it being a big group of bugs, it also creates an effect on screen that looks like you have a bunch of bugs crawling on the screen. So I do want to be very clear right away that I do have that turned on. If that bothers you, here is your chance to be mindful of seeing it when it shows up. Not exactly calling this like a trigger warning or anything like that, but effectively, hey, if that's something that bothers you, I will try to have it on screen as little as humanly possible, but it might show up. So just wanted to give you a heads up now. There is most definitely an option for when you're playing the game to turn that off so you don't see that. Oops. Wrong button. There we go. Looking for 00 flash. It's also raining in real life right now, so If you happen to hear some rain or thunder rumbles, that's why. It is very much raining outside. But yes, fair warning. Again, it is, you know, I'm going to do my best to defeat the creature as quickly as possible, but it may show up, it may happen. So I just wanted to give everyone a heads up as soon as I could that it may be here. Well, with that warning out of the way, let us go a digging and see if we can get some goodies. Collecting some between stone here. It is good beyond the fact that, you know, just digging faster, that I went ahead and made these bone tools, because obviously them being stone tier versus the wood tier of my weedwood tools, I'll be able to mine certain materials that I can't with the wooden tools. Let's put away the peat. Let's grab the swamp dirt. Let's see, starter base is that way, so I'd actually like to go ahead and place the ladders along this wall for now. There we go. And having some torches around here will make it very easy to see, just so I don't accidentally just be running through the swamp and fall into my hole here. Again, this whole area will be covered with what I eventually create as center base. But for now, I wanted to go mining to get some materials because I'm low on sulfur for cleaning my tools and doing other things. I've just been kind of running around the surface, even off camera, just running around killing, you know, small creatures to get food, collecting swamp reeds and such. And I was kind of not exactly getting tired of doing so, but I'm like, okay, I need to switch things up. I've been doing that. Hello. I've been doing that for a while. Just like going out and locating other weedwood trees that I can chop down for wood, or like the core wood. And I figured, all right, after a few episodes of me just kind of running around on the surface, well, first off, I just got the advanced darkness, so very nice, because I'm now in the caverns. But I wanted to go digging. I needed to get some different materials. They are definitely more numerous in the caves compared to just running around hoping I find something in a pot. There we go. And let's see, put away the swamp dirt, grab the between stone. There we are. Okay, down we go. But yeah, like I said, I just wanted to go get some different materials, wanted to do something a little different. So I'm doing some digging. Later on, I'll probably do a bit of digging off camera. You know, once I've created a full mining area. Just, okay, I've located some ores. I'll go dig some of them out. I've shown you all where the ores are, and now I just mine the ores off camera. But for now, I want to try and keep as much of the interesting stuff shown on camera, and I would say for the moment at least this is pretty interesting. Okay, grab some more pebbles. Let's get some light going here. Ooh, very nice. I will definitely take some Sumerite. Now, I do believe, although I haven't fought any yet, for obviously, I do believe that the infestations can climb walls, kind of like a spider can, which would make sense. It's a group of bugs. So I will have to be careful as I'm kind of going around to see where these creatures that are around me actually are, like in relation to me. We've got some sulfur ore here. Very nice. Looks like we're only getting 1 piece of sulfur per ore. So I will kind of wait to mine a ton of this until I get access to enchanting. I haven't... Oh. Okay, so you do get a chance to get more than just 1. Good. I do have an idea for how I would like to get access to enchanting. Obviously, if I was playing this, you know, just as standard Minecraft or as part of a mod pack, I would just go make an enchanting table and enchant all of these Betweenland tools, and, you know, done is done. But with me being, quote-unquote, trapped here in the Betweenlands, I don't have direct access to overworld stuff. Like, I can't make an enchanting table. I can't make a bookcase. Oh, hi, White. Hi. I see you down there being all squiggly. A little extra torch right there. If needs be, I can head back to starter base and get the materials to make more torches. Especially now that I'm finding some sulfur. Let's see. Yeah, I'll go ahead and take this ceremerite. If nothing else, having this ceremerite will be very helpful because I'll be able to make more shears. And eventually, once I have enough ceremerite, I can make a set of ceremerite armor, which will provide even more protection than the bone armor does. I'm not too concerned with that just yet, because there is a specific way that I want to try. Okay, so that's an infestation right there. I think I got it. I think I got it. Okay. And I got one of the things I was looking for. Yes. Ha ha ha. Okay, so there is another infestation right there. So what happens is there is a chance, and this white is still below me here, so I do have to be careful. There is a chance when you are fighting an infestation that it will actually break up into smaller sized versions of itself. So think like a slime that's just like a regular slime, that when you kill it, it breaks apart into smaller slimes. An infestation does something similar. Each infestation has a chance of dropping these pheromone thoraxes. What this is used for is for getting access to silk. The way to do that, and again, this is all stuff that I really wish would be incorporated into SevTech, because I would love to be able to play with that as part of doing the whole SevTech experience. It's not. It's unfortunate. Yes, I see the wavy lines of the white being below me here. But what you do is you take this pheromone thorax and you use it on a weedwood bush, which is why we collected some of those bushes with shears not too long ago. Let's put a torch here. Ooh, a fair amount of sulfur and a little bit more ceremerite. Very nice. Let's go ahead and make ourselves a little path over here. But you basically infest the bush with the pheromone thorax, and the weedwood bush gets infested with moths, essentially. Making sure we stay nice and safe here. Again, I am most definitely not invincible, not by a long shot. So I don't want to die accidentally while doing my first caving. Go. I will take that, thank you. But while you have the weedwood bush infested with the stuff from the pheromone thorax, it will slowly generate there we go. It will slowly generate silk cocoons and moths. Once it reaches a certain stage of silk creation, you can either break the bush and you get like a silk cocoon and a moth, or you can use shears on the bush and you get, I think you get a cocoon and a moth at the same time. Boop. It's somewhat similar to when we were playing Stone Block, how when you crook the leaves with the ex nihilo, use that word correctly, when you use the crook on the leaves, you can get the silkworms. You then infest the leaf blocks with the silkworms. It turns them into infested leaf blocks, and then after they were fully infested, you would then have break the leaf blocks to get string. So same basic idea. There we go. Get some more pebbles. See, now that I have more arrows, I don't have a large use for the bow. Or excuse me. Try that again. Now that I have a fair amount of arrows, I don't have a large use for the slingshot, but I do want to keep it around just in case. But as we can see here, we got some slimy bone ore, which is very useful. That will let me make more slimy bone tools until I really start getting more access to the Sumerite and Octine. There's some more right here. We'll just build down to it. Again, being very careful. There are still the quote-unquote usual enemies that we've been fighting so far here in the Betweenlands. So you can definitely fight the Chiramaws flying around. You can fight the bog witches or swamp witches. You can find them. As we saw, there are wights that can spawn. And they're not any more or less difficult than they were on the surface. The main thing to be careful of are these infestations, just because they are pretty low to the ground. Just gonna break this cave moss to give myself an easier passageway through here. They're pretty low to the ground. They can climb walls, so they'll be kind of hard to see when they're coming at you all of a sudden. And I believe they also do poison damage, like this. Oh, okay. There we go. All right. Oof. I am so glad that I made the better armor and the new sword. That did the trick quite quickly. But yeah, as you saw, the screen started having a couple little bugs on them. So again, if and when that happens, I'm going to try and get rid of it as fast as humanly possible. But please understand that, you know, if you don't like the look of that, just be careful. I will be mindful, but I wanted to let you all know ahead of time. Okay. Looks like we've got a little pathway here. I do need to gather up these thorns later on for potion crafting. But for now, I'm not too worried about getting them. Later, when I get, when I have a ton more Simmerite and I can make I can make more shears, I will most definitely be collecting. Just keeping an eye on my path. I will most definitely be collecting some of these thorns, and then using the Valenite sickle or scythe on them to get what I need for doing the potion stuff. For now, I'm just gonna leave him there, break him by hand just to get him out of the way. I know I am technically being somewhat, not exactly wasteful, but not being specifically, you know, very efficient in collecting the sulfur ore with a non-enchanted pickaxe. It's fine. It's the Betweenlands version of coal. So normally I would be like making sure as much as I possibly can to mine coal with an enchanted pickaxe with fortune on it, so I get a ton of coal from it. I should be doing the same thing here with all this I should be doing the same thing with all the sulfur. Once I get access to enchanting, it won't be a bother. Plus the fact that I don't cook anything with the sulfur, I just use it for like cleaning my tools, means I can kind of save it up a bit easier. Okay. Keeping an eye out for any other creatures. There is something above me on the mini map there. I think that's up above, up above. Nothing there. I'm definitely finding a lot of Simmerite. I'm very watching the red dot moving towards me, but I'm also very happy that I'm finding a good amount of Simmerites. That's going to be very helpful for making lots of shears and also making other tools. The Simmerite becomes Simmerite ingots. I will need that to make the fishing rod, a better shield, and also better armor again. I'll also be able to make barrels out of it eventually. So, yeah, a very useful thing to have. All right, moving along. This has been, I believe it is getting to be nighttime up above, considering how dark it is getting down here. Right, let's go ahead and grab this Simmerite, please and thank you. On the lookout for any infestations heading towards me. Honestly, the two biggest things that are going to be a danger right now is an infestation popping up out of, you know, off of a wall or something, dropping down on me, poisoning me, and then doing the contact damage while it is poisoning me, and then a white coming in and either combining with another creature so it does its weird ranged ability that it has, or just a white popping up out of nowhere, like floating up through the ground and then suddenly surrounding me, doing its spinny attack. Those are going to be the main two things to look out the most. Like the swamp witch, the bog witch, that doesn't do much of it. It's effectively a zombie. So long as you can keep the zombie away from you, you're fine. Same thing with the bog witch or the swamp witch. So long as you keep it away from you, you're fine. It's when they combine with excuse me while I run away from the thorns that are right next to me. Right there. Excuse me, thorns. Thank you. All right. I'll keep some of them there just so I can collect them later. All right. Moving on down. I should go ahead probably pretty soon and head on back. A, so I can make more torches, and B, so I can start infesting some weedwood bushes. There's that spot. So down here is where that white was. Nice amount of Sirmarite right here. Very nice. Nice amount right here too. Heck yeah. I certainly would not mind some more slimy bone, but I'm not going to say no to the Sirmarite. Okay, keeping an eye out on the minimap. I do not want to have a bunch of enemies drop down on my head if I can help it. Right, grab that. Now I have collected a pretty good amount of Sirmarite. If I can find something, which I believe I just did. Yes, I did. Okay, perfect. That worked. I'm going to steal this torch. I would like some light in here to show you what I'm about to mine. So, this block right here is limestone. We've seen this block many times over in many of the various mod packs that we've played. We've seen it in SevTech. We saw it in Stone Block. And of course, here in the Betweenlands, it is another block. So, this is going to be a very good find because what you can do with the limestone, we can obviously make decorative blocks out of it, like walls and stairs and slabs, bricks and such. We can also smelt it up into polished limestone to again make decorative blocks out of. But we can also crush it into limestone flux. What the limestone flux's main use for is when you smelt the ore blocks in the dual sulfur furnace. If you have limestone flux in there, there's a chance that you can receive double outputs from the furnace. So each of these Sirmarite ores has a chance to give me 2 Sirmarite ingots instead of just 1. So I don't need to collect a lot of limestone right now because I do get 3 limestone per grinding of it in the mortar and pestle. But having a fair amount to begin with is very helpful. Okay. We have a fairly full inventory. Let's go ahead and grab this last bit of Sirmarite right here. Then we are going to go ahead and head back up to the surface because A, we're out of torches. B, I want to go ahead and start infesting some weedwood bushes to learn how that mechanic works. Again, this was something that was added out. Hi. Oh, jeez. Big rock creature. Run away! There's my ladder well. That rock creature kind of hurt. And it's raining outside. That's fine. Armor's doing okay. Everything else is doing okay. Good. But yeah, all the silk stuff that was added, added after Sevtech stopped updating. So that was never put in, which, you know, it would take a long while to be able to try and update Sevtech with that stuff, or with that version of the Betweenlands. So I'm not going to try and do it. I don't think Darkosto, the author of the mod pack, is that interested in doing it. But that's fine. Regardless, we made it back home very well. We've got plenty of goodies. More sulfur. We got our samurai ore. Some more slimy bones, which is very useful. Let's go ahead and start doing some things with these things. First off, we'll put away our between stone, our swamp dirt, and a little bit of peat that we got. Let us take a little bit of the limestone and we'll crush it up here in the mortar and pestle. Give that a crunch crunch to get a few pieces. We still have plenty of durability on the pestle itself. And we got plenty of places around that we can go and get cragstone or crag rock when this thing does start getting low on durability. But we take the limestone flux, and we now have the advancement freebies. So let's take a look at our advancements so far. Let's see. Slay an enemy with a sword. Just going through our different advancements. Yes, we've gotten the advanced darkness, enter a cave. New shinies, obtain a Sturmrite or Octine ingot. We've already done that because of gathering the pieces. Let's see. Discover an idlehead. Discover some ruins. Pots of chance. Weedwood rowboat. Oh, we got bouldery boys get rolled over by a boulder sprite. Interesting. So I'm guessing that's what the that rock creature was. And we got shake it off, get overrun by an infestation. What else do we have? We've got efficiency, create a dual sulfur furnace. We had that before. Freebies, obtain extra ingots using limestone flux. Well, we haven't actually gotten any... We haven't gotten anything extra from the limestone flux yet. We just made limestone flux and put it in here. But let's see if we can actually get any freebies out of this. So we take our Sturmrite ore. It consumes the limestone flux. And no dice. That's fine. Again, it is a chance. It is not a guarantee. It would be nice if we were able to get some. Nope. Let's try again. I'd like to see if I can get it on camera just so you all see what it looks like. Hey, there we go. But yeah, see, it uses the limestone flux every time. That's fine. I have no other use for limestone beyond making limestone flux. But we used up that piece of limestone flux and got 2 Sturmrite ingots, which is fantastic because, as you can see, my shears are getting pretty beat up. So time for a new pair of shears. Awesome sauce. Much better. Much better. Okay. So we can do that. We can put away the old shears for the moment. I will smelt the rest of the Sturmrite ore off camera, grinding up a bunch of limestone into the limestone flux. But now I would like to go ahead and try this pheromone thorax and see about getting me some silk. Let's take a look. So we have some weedwood bushes. There is a very good way to use the pheromone thorax is to essentially get more. You can use it a lot more efficiently than what I'm going to do now. Unfortunately, I don't have the materials to do the very efficient way yet. When I do, and trust me, I will be very much hunting those materials down at some point. Then I will set up a little area where I can just be farming up a lot of the silkworms and silk and such to be able to do that. There's a lot of crabs, like right there. Like a lot of crabs. I'm gonna go over here. I'm pretty sure I can deal with a good few hits from the crabs now, but I also don't want to fight a ton of pinchy crabs right at the second. Oh, there you are. Boop. Thank you for the snail shell. Thank you for the... Oh, are you guys coming to fight me? I see you. I see you over there. Kind of sizing me up. Ha-ta! There, that's what you get. Alright, back to what I was working on. So we take the weedwood bush, and this will work for either a bush that you just find or one that you plant. We'll just go ahead and put 4 bushes down like this. Hi, lurker. We'll go ahead and have a singular piece of sap jello. Just to remove that decay. Thank you. Appreciate it. Right. So, we should be able to take the pheromone thorax. There we go. You get the advancement, your bush smells. That's not friendly. Alright, so we've got the weedwood bush itself. It's gonna go through a couple changes. I don't think it will affect these bushes here, but we will watch it for just a moment to see what it does. Because at a certain point, it's going to turn into an infested weedwood bush, and it'll actually, the name should change. So I'm waiting to see when that happens. Because it starts off just as a weedwood bush. And then I want to say it changes to a cocooned bush and then a silk-coated bush or something like that. But if you leave it go too long, then the bush dies and you just end up with like a bundle of sticks and that's it. So just keeping an eye on it at the moment. But yeah, what I was talking about previously is one of the bosses, the spirit tree. The little mobs that you can fight to go along with the tree are little spirit faces, little spirit masks. You can... Okay, here we go. It's now got moths coming from it. Nope, that didn't do it. But the moths are hanging around the other one, which is interesting. Do I have to have... No, I don't. Okay. I may have unfortunately wasted that one. It's fine. I can go fight more infestations. That's not a big deal. But the spirit tree has little spirit masks that you can fight that are part of it. If you defeat those small spirit masks, they can drop an item, which is just a small spirit mask. You can then combine that with some living wood and such, or not living wood, excuse me, but some weedwood to make what's called a grub hub that will automate the production of silk and moths for you. You basically set it around a bunch of the weedwood bushes. You give it some liquefied pheromone thorax, and it will infest all the weedwood bushes around it, Once the bushes become infested to a certain point, it will harvest said bushes and store the moths and silk for you. And then you can just collect it. At the moment, I am nowhere near close enough to being able to go fight a spirit tree. So that is definitely not a thing that I can do yet. All right. That one just changed a little bit. We're keeping an eye. Oh, look. It's got something on the inside of it. There we go. We got silk grubs. Yeah, so if you look, when you see the tiny little moths on them, now we have the silk grub inside it. Bloop. There we go. We have silk grubs. So these weedwood bushes, they are just now regular weedwood bushes. They won't have any more grubs or anything in them. We can take the silk grub and eat it. Definitely not going to do that, because that would be a very horrible waste, considering we have to go fight the infestations to get those. But now what we need to do is go build a moth house. We're going to head back here to starter base. Make such things. Oops, wrong chest. Yeah, I'm not going to eat the silk grub, and I'm certainly not going to cook it. Can you cook it? I don't even think you can. Okay. Yeah, that's the grub hub itself. It's a silt glass jar surrounded by small animated spirit tree face masks, and then some weedwood planks. Let's see. Silk grub infested weedwood bush. Yeah, here's the different stages. So you got weedwood bush, pheromone infused, moth infested, silk grub infested, silk cocooned, and then decay infested. Okay, but we need to build ourselves a moth house. That is this right here. So pretty easy, just a weedwood chest, some rope, sticks, and some thatch. I haven't made thatch yet, at least in here, but thankfully enough, thatch is pretty easy to make. We just take the dried swamp reed and we turn it into a block form, like this. Boop. Now we have thatch. Okay, so we need sticks, plank slab, reed rope. Easy enough to make. We have the reed rope. We have weedwood plank slabs, and then we need a chest. Hold it all in. There we go. And a couple sticks, like so. Boop. Let's go ahead and put away this food for the moment. Drops. And we have ourselves a moth house. So we take this moth house. We can, let's see, do we need to hang it from something? Do we place it on the side? There we go. That'll work. So we take the moth house, we take our silk grub, and we place it inside. And we get the advancement, moving day. So what the moth house is going to do, let's take a look at the advancements. Let's see. There it is. Put silk grubs in a moth house to produce silk. The silk grubs sit in the moth house. They produce silk. I believe each grub can create 3 pieces of silk. And then you collect the silk from the moth house. There is an advancement, multi-core threading. Use lanterns to boost a moth house's production speed. Which we do have a lantern here. I think it takes, what, 3 lanterns to be able to... I think this can benefit with up to 3 lanterns around it to be able to make silk the fastest. Take a quick look. To be honest, I didn't think I was going to get this far. I thought I was going to have to, like, fumble around for a while to try and get, to this point. But I managed to actually get this fairly easily, which I'm glad. Let's see. Right-click the moth house to retrieve the silk threads. Shift right-click to retrieve both the silk grubs and silk threads. Lanterns placed in a 7x7x7 area around the moth house will boost production speed up to a max of 3 lanterns. All right. So moth house can hold up to 6 grubs at one time. Good to know. Yeah. So let's see, if I shift right click, probably have to have... Hey, I got silk out of that. Very nice. Okay. So I can take some lanterns and I can put it here. Let's take a look at the different lanterns. So there's a few I can make. The Amate paper lanterns, either blank, checkered, or framed. I can make the silt glass lantern, and then the Weedwood rowboat lantern upgrade, which that's for the rowboat itself. So this lantern right here is the silt glass lantern. I can make these by, let's see, using some Amate paper planes, or paper panes, excuse me. Some Weedwood plank slabs, and a firefly. Okay. Oh. Oh, I hate the fact that the shallow breath can go into your house and just start hitting you. Rebel, rebel, rebel. That is annoying to say the least. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. It's all good. We're fine. Okay. Lanterns. Let's make some lanterns. The paper planes is just Amate paper and Weedwood sticks. We should have some dried bark that we can make some Amate paper with, because I don't believe... I don't think I've made Amate paper yet. No, I have not. I do have a couple fireflies, so I can do that. And fireflies are pretty easy to catch. I mean, there's one right there. I just used the net on it. So the dry bark... we make Amate paper. Let's do that. We'll go ahead and let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do. Oh. There we go. Okay. That back there. I don't need the thatch on me right now. But I do need some more Weedwood plank slabs. Grab some more planks. There we go. All right. Paper plate. And... okay. So we got some blank Amate paper lanterns. Can I hang these just from the side here? Okay, good. That doesn't interfere. That's good. I'm glad. That does not interfere with opening the, it doesn't interfere with opening the chests. Good. All right. Let's break that. Let's put the moth houses right here. Why not? We'll make lanterns, because the lanterns work in a 7x7x7 area. So... we'll have some lanterns hanging in the house here. Let's go see if we can find... hi, fish. Let's go see if we can grab a couple more fireflies to make a couple more lanterns. because why not? There's all the crabs still over there. Unfortunately, the fireflies don't show up as creatures. Even like, you know, non-hostile mobs. Which kind of stinks, because I would like it if they did. If they did show up. Collect a bit more dry bark just to have it. But yes, we have silk finally. Huzzah! Hey, there's a firefly. Come here. And got it. Nice. Let's see if we can. That's a bubble crab. Bubble crab. See if we can grab one more firefly. Hey, there's a firefly. Hello, little firefly. I need you to become lamp for me, please. Thank you. Back to base we go. Who's following me? Okay, you're not following me. That's the crab army right there. Okay, the way this thing was swimming right up to me, I thought I had aggroed it somehow. I'm like, good sir, how did I aggro you and why? I mean, I need to fight a lot more of you now that I am starting to have access to, now that I'm starting to have access to silk. I do need to fight a lot of lurkers because I can now start making lurker hide bags. But at the moment, I don't want to fight you. Especially considering we're going to be ending pretty soon. Let's go ahead, grab some more sticks. We are going to make, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Make more of that. We do need some more planks. Make more slabs to make another lantern and one more lantern. Cool. All right. So, just for decorative sake, we now have a lantern in each corner. It's nice and bright in here. We have our silt glass lantern in the top. So, theoretically, this should mean that these silk grubs will work as fast as they possibly can. Yes! Multicore threading! Awesome. So yeah, they work with a maximum of up to 3 lanterns. So technically speaking, I just needed to make 2. The one that I made first and then one more because I already had this one here and it works in a 7x7x7 area. But I kind of want to keep it symmetrical. I like the way the place looks all lit up. But yeah, so those silkworms, those silk grubs will just be making silk. And I'll be able to start getting access to some very, very good things. Let's put away the amate paper as well as the dry bark and the reed rope. We don't need the extra stones at the moment. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take these extra between stone pebbles and just keep them down here for right now. I'm not going to make any pebbles considering I've been finding so many. You just make them by using like a piece of between stone. Or what's that? Yeah. 1 piece of between stone equals 2 between stone pebbles. I'm finding enough as is that I don't need to use any. But I do want to keep it just in case my bow starts getting kind of bad. Okay. Let's take a look, since we're going to be ending pretty soon, at what we can make with the silk. So we definitely can make the weedwood fishing rod. We can make a silk mask, which I think makes it so you don't get poisoned by something. I don't remember exactly what. But we have the ability to start making, or at least pretty soon, the silk bundles. So we can actually make teas. Most importantly, the lurker skin pouch is going to be fantastic. Okay. The lurker skin pouch is going to be fantastic for carrying stuff around. if we take a look, so there is the original 9-slot pouch. Then we surround it with more lurker skin that's 18, then 27, and then 36 inventory slots. So that's a fair amount of inventory that you can carry around. And we can have multiple of those pouches. You'll have one actually equipped as like a little side pouch. And then I'm going to have multiples just as, you know, spots inside the inventory as I usually do. So I'll have like one for blocks, one for mob drops and organics, one for all of my like a mobile base where I have all of my equipment and stuff stored in. And then I'll just have one on my side pouch for emergencies. Oh, but we have silk thread. I do like that. That is pretty. That is a very pretty look. Just having those moths kind of fluttering around the moth house. I think what I'm going to end up having to do is finding a good way to like either farm the infestations a lot, or just obviously once I have access to the grub hub, having several of these moth houses going just in an area, just for the prettiness of it. Let's see. Fishing rod. That's a weedwood fishing rod, silk thread, a fishing float, and hook. So the weedwood fishing rod is sticks, ceramite, and a fishing float and hook. That is 2 leaves, an octane nugget, and a rubber ball. The leaves are just fallen leaves. Okay. I kind of want to end on trying out the fishing rod because I can. So we got that. We got our leaves. We've got our rubber ball. We've got our octane nuggets. We need some sticks. And we need some ceramite ingots. Need to make the fishing float and hook. There we go. And now we make the weedwood fishing rod. Huzzah! And we got the advancement, teach a man to fish. Let's see, that is going to be right here. Craft a weedwood fishing rod. Awesome. Bait your rod from a silt glass jar full of worms, and catch an anadea using a weedwood fishing rod. I want to do that. I kind of want to do that. I've got a ton of these sludge worms, which I can just use to bait the rod directly. I can also make the silt glass jar. Storage for tiny sludge worms. Use a weedwood fishing rod on the jar, adds a worm to the rod. So, filtered silt glass. Or just silt glass. What is filtered silt glass? Oh, that's right. You just smelt the filtered silt. Okay, yeah, you have to do the whole crab pot thing. Ah, I see. The filtered silt glass jar is to make the grub hub. The regular silt glass jar is used to store the tiny worms. Okay. Do I have... I do believe I can. How much does it take to make that? 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, let's end on doing that because we can. Question for... Let's see if this does it. I don't think it does. I was going to ask, is the limestone flux used? Cool. So if the thing can't be duplicated, it doesn't use the limestone flux. Awesome. Which means I can just leave it in there and not have to worry about, oh, it's chewing through my limestone flux when I'm just smelting, when I'm just smelting glass or whatever. Awesome. Good to know. I am glad I learned. Okay. Silk glass. Silk glass jar. I'm assuming I can just break it Bone axe. There it is. Okay, cool. So you can break it with any tool. Let's grab tiny sludge worm. And we'll do a quick bit of fish. Look, there's even a fish out here. So we'll put that there. That's a large glass jar. I'm just saying. Can I? Okay, good to know. So I can put a worm in there. And as you can see, it had worm. It has worm. But I can just shift right click and take the worm out. Good, so I can store the worms in there. So we're going to take right click. Nope. No, shift right click. No, okay. Using a weedwood fishing rod on the jar adds a worm to the rod. Okay. Nope, that casts it. Let me look this up real quick, because I know we need to end. Let's see. Obviously, this episode's going to run a little long. Let's see. Weedwood fishing rod. Just taking a quick look. Because again, this is stuff that was added well after SevTech. By either crafting the rod with a tiny sludge worm or left clicking. Oh, left clicking. Okay, so you basically bop it. Understood. So you put the worm in there and then you just go boop. Jar of worms. We got ourselves another advancement. Bait your rod from a silk glass jar full of worms. So yeah, so you left click it instead of right click. And then we'll cast. Okay. Oh. Okay, so it starts a little mini game where you have to get the fish away from. There we go. You have to get the fish away from the crab. Come on, fish. It probably used up that worm, but that's fine. That's not a big deal. Let's see. Are there any other fish around? I want to try and fish up a fish. And fish. Oh, nope. That pulls it in. Come on, fish. It's fine that I'm using durability on the fishing pole. I'll be able to repair it. Come on, fish. I would like to fish you. Fish is not paying attention, unfortunately. Well, you know what? I have plenty of worm. I'm just going to go ahead and bait it. Boop. Boop. I don't care. There's a tiny fish. Here's fish. Okay. So I'm pulling the fish. Come on. Come on, fish. I guess maybe I have to scoop the fish up with the... Scoop the fish up with the net. Come on, fish. Come on. Yeah. So basically the mini game is you have to get the fish to the right side of that little mini game screen before the crab comes and touches the fish, because then it doesn't catch. And it says the fish is more likely to bite if there is a worm on your fishing pole. I'm not seeing it bite at all if there's not a worm on your fishing pole. So I'm definitely going to have to go out and try and get more of those worms. Oh well, we'll have to learn later, but that's okay. The important thing is we now have access to fishing. Once I get the hang of fishing and am able to show it to you all, I'll be able to do some fishing off camera to get many good things from said fish, as well as just a nice little thing that I can grind, you know, when just wanting to play off camera. Ooh, excuse me. But most importantly, we've gotten a lot of stuff today. We've gotten our mine shaft started, so we can start getting some extra ores. We have gotten some limestone to be able to not exactly duplicate, but have a chance of extras from those ores. We fought infestations to start getting the pheromone thoraxes. We have started infesting weedwood bushes to be able to get access to the silk. We have the silk itself, and we can start making things out of said silk. But until next time, thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you have a good day and good game.